Hello and welcome to the Minds on the Frontline Podcast, brought to you by the Frontline Strong Together 5 program. FST5 provides streamlined access to behavioral and mental health services, as well as crisis resources for Michigan's Frontline 5 workers and their families. This includes all professional, part-time, and volunteer firefighters, EMS, law enforcement, corrections officers, and 911 dispatchers in Michigan and their immediate family members. First responders and mental health experts collaboratively created FST5 to provide 24/7 live support, effective resources, and cutting-edge services to prevent and alleviate PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other frontline work-related mental and behavioral health challenges. Need help now? If you are a frontline worker in Michigan or an immediate family member experiencing any crisis, work-related, substance abuse, depression, relationships, finances, or any other, reach out by calling 1-833-34-STRONG or go to fst5.org for more information. I'm Jeff Lassers, one of the hosts of the Minds on the Frontline podcast, and I'm a professional firefighter, paramedic, educator, and content creator. Minds on the Frontline is co-hosted by Mike Mattern, who is also a professional firefighter and paramedic. In addition, Mike is a peer support team member for his fire department and the Frontline Strong Together 5 program, a board member of the Michigan Crisis Response Association, and the former chair of the Michigan Professional Firefighters Union Behavioral Health Committee. Mike has training and experience with frontline worker mental and behavioral health. On the other hand, I do not. My role is to produce the show, whereas Mike is our resident subject matter expert. Together, we hope to inform, educate, and entertain frontline workers, their families, and the public regarding the realities of frontline work-related mental and behavioral health challenges. In this episode, we sit down with Corey Pern, a seasoned professional firefighter with over 21 years' experience and the founder of CRACKYL Media. CRACKYL Media creates engaging and authentic content focused on the health, wellness, and lifestyle of frontline workers, particularly firefighters. Corey's dual career as a firefighter and media professional provides a unique perspective, integrating his honed leadership and teamwork skills into his work at CRACKYL Media. This blend of public service and media expertise enables him to create content that resonates deeply with a diverse audience. During this episode, Corey shares insights from his career and highlights the importance of mental and behavioral health for frontline workers, drawing on his experiences and the cultural shifts that he has witnessed. Corey's commitment to enhancing first responder well-being is clear as he discusses the initiatives and resources CRACKYL Media offers, including their app designed to prioritize health for every firefighter. Go to crackl.com or download the CRACKYL app for more information. Please check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and make sure to like and subscribe to all Minds on the Frontline podcast social media channels. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Good morning, Corey. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming out.
Well, you're not our first Canadian, so that's cool.
Hopefully not your last. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Well, why don't you kick off and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and where you do it.
Well, my name's Corey Perrin. I'm a firefighter, a captain of 21 years, professional fire department, and, creator and author and all the things of CRACKYL magazine, husband, father, you name it. Yeah.
Right on, man. And how long you been in the fire business?
21 years.
Right on. So yeah, you're in that same ballpark as us.
I'm in a fragile state right now. Self-preservation. Yeah.
Aren't we all? Yeah, you get in that last, so do you got to do 25 or do you got to do 30?
We're supposed to be 30. Yes.
Yeah, me too. So we're in that last 10. We're not trying to think about it too much.
That's right.
Everybody wants to be retired. More importantly, we want to
seems like the first 10 went really fast, and then there's kind of this no man's land, I guess. And then, it seems like the last 10, you got to kind of dig deep a little bit.
Yeah. And okay, so let's hit that a little bit. So obviously the job, we're not young bucks, right? We're not out there hard charging it as much as we think we can. There's the physical aspect of it. There's the financial aspect of you got to save some money, but then there's also that emotional aspect of keeping your poop in a group for an entire career, right? Yep. So when and how did you realize as a professional firefighter that behavioral and mental health issues are real life concerns for all frontline workers?
Yeah, I think as you go through your career, you have lots of people that come and go. And, whether they're retiring or they're a loss of a suicide, or it just keeps coming up. It's just really about how do we just stop getting to the point that we feel like those are options.
Right. You just saw it so much. Like, it's not even like, how do you realize it? It's like, how do you not realize it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you get into this career thinking about these things, and they kind of, I don't say sneak up on you, but they do. And all of a sudden you have to deal with these things that you never thought you were going to have to deal with. And even though you're not ignorant, you knew they were going to happen or hope they wouldn't happen. But yeah, it still feels like it's always the first time.
It's like the little mini dosing. It's a little drops in the bucket. You don't realize how heavy it is until that bucket.
Well, you kind of feel how helpless you are. Like these things happen, you're like right under your nose, and it's just like, how come? Like, how does this happen?
So, I mean, going back 21 years, what was the culture like when it came to any type of wellness? In your department, in your area. I mean, what was the culture kind of back then?
Yeah, it was definitely, like, I would say, an old school culture for sure. There's, a big shift that's happened in our department just by the new faces in the firehouse. We try to work out on duty, whether we're stretching or isometrics or just something low impact, just more or less stretching. And that would have been laughed at 20 years ago. And they wouldn't have given you time to do it. You would have had to do it on your own time. We make that effort to do these things. And I mean, it's very basic, but even something that simple would have been laughed at, and you just wouldn't have brought it up.
Oh, I mean, even now, I mean, you see a lot of people getting into yoga at the firehouse, and I'll tell you,
without even blinking now, where it used to be like,
yes, now where you would see people going in there working out, lifting weights, that kind of stuff. You walk in the gym and there's a bunch of firefighters doing yoga. I've been there 18 years. I know 18 years ago, if somebody brought in a yoga mat to the firehouse, it probably would have been thrown out the back door pretty quickly.
Yeah, there would have been a prank or something.
Yeah.
Well, two of the most funniest moments I ever saw was the first time I saw a yoga mat in a firehouse, and the other time was the first time I saw a loofah in a firehouse.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You don't belong here to watch everything happen. But now it's like both of those things are very common in the firehouse.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I guess going with that, what kind of changed over the years for you, at least personally or in your area, that really brought all of this stuff to the forefront?
It's a big journey, right? It depends where you want to start. But I had my own health issues, nearly lost my life, having heart issues, and then obviously friends, losing people, and then my own wants and needs, trying to figure out how I fit into my own ecosystem and my family. And I was say everybody kind of gets a ball to carry and is just waiting to drop the ball. So I fight for that. I fight for that every day. I try to be a good friend, try to be a great dad, good husband. As I said, good husband, not great dad. Yeah. It's just set expectations, right? Yeah, and it's just really just trying to be a good person overall, and just trying to keep everything going. I try to think of my life as like balloons in the air, and one's kind of falling, and you hit it back up, but then you've got other ones falling, and I just think you have to be kind of modular, and then obviously expectations. I mean, try to reserve enough for yourself, I think, is energy and time, and which is the hardest part of it all, really.
Yes, time is always the hardest thing. Time is the most valuable thing you can give somebody, and it costs nothing. Sharing that time with the people who need the time or who should have the time. You can give a lot of yourself to a lot of different places, but at the end of the day, it needs to be the people at home, the people you love.
It's certainly the most valuable thing you could ever give your children.
It is. It like I said, it is the most valuable commodity, and it costs nothing.
Right.
And it
or it costs you everything because you gotta.
Well, it costs you nothing to give it to them. I mean, it's one of those things that the time you spend with people is what's important.
That's the currency for sure.
Yeah.
So to magnify that, you have a passion project that has turned into quite a thing, eh? And
yes.
So CRACKYL magazine, when, how, and why? Give everybody the background and how CRACKYL magazine is kind of in this realm we're all talking about of, health and wellness.
Sure. It wasn't something I ever thought I would be in the middle of, to be honest. It was something that I think it just kind of came out of me. It came for many different reasons. Again, like I said, my health scare, I had realized, everything I was doing was great. And, I was working in the publishing world on the sales side of things and just really enjoying that. And then I had kind of pitched an idea of a health and lifestyle firefighter magazine years ago, like 6 years ago. and never went anywhere. And I still have all the pictures and everything on my wall of the, mock website I created. And I created all the pillars that I have today. I did mock up cover magazines, and I just kind of sat on it. And then it just seemed like the climate was there. You have to realize when you're in a cul-de-sac in your life, and I was in one. I was as far as I was going to go in the world I was in. And I wanted more. I wanted more. I mean, that's one way. Another is, just sick and tired of, again, losing people and going through all those emotions. And, I think we're worth fighting for in every which way. And this is just something I felt that I could do. I didn't really realize what it would grow to be now, but when I started, I thought I can create a magazine. I think I can create something that we can actually be amused by. I call it like a chew toy for firefighters. It's something that, I can just change the landscape a little bit.
It feels more entertainment than anything. Like I've picked up fire service magazines for 20 some years now, and they all feel very similar. And it's not a knock on it, but you pick up CRACKYL, I feel like I'm looking at like the old, the fun stuff. I feel like I'm like ESPN, the magazine, when that first came out.
Sports Illustrated it
was cool. Yeah. Like every aspect of it, the design of it, what goes into the articles, how they even present the advertisements. It's a very well thought thing that you guys have put together, and you got some pretty cool names behind it. If you're going to get the fire service involved, you've done a good job of that.
That's the fun part, is trying to figure out how we're going to keep tricking firefighters to read. I mean, it has to be flashy enough for us to be interested. We only get so much time for ourselves, and I and myself included. I don't want to waste our time. So I figured, if I'm going to do this, I need to make it in a way that makes sense for us, and bring in that kitchen table talk and bring in the real issues that we really have. Our trade publications are like our newspapers. That's how we even understand or get connected on what's happening in our industry. Again, it's one of the reasons why I got into this, is because I love these magazines. I remember carrying them around with me. So again, it was just something different. This magazine, or this, our efforts are meant to complement these other things. Again, how can we train? How can we talk about leadership? Who's helping the people that are talking to us about leadership?
Yeah, so you bring it all up in a way that is...
It's very fireman friendly.
I was going to say, the style is you're getting you to learn about leadership, management, health, and safety without calling it leadership, management, health, and safety. It's not the same thing over and over again. So one of the things we do is we hold up the stool with physical, financial, emotional. Those are our 3 pillars that hold up our foundation. But you have more pillars, and I love it. So go over yours and why you selected those to be the fundamental backbone of your organization.
In the magazine, it made sense to use the 7 pillars that we have. So health, lifestyle, fitness, finance, relationships, and stress. So all our articles and stories kind of fall in those categories. And then our website, we're kind of opening up into more resources and, addictions and things. And it kind of opens up the health and the pillars and stuff like that. So we're kind of diving into that right now. So.
Well, it's great because they all work with one another. Mm-hmm. You can't just focus in on one of them. They all complement each other in ways that if you just took one away, it wouldn't have the potential effect. You know what I mean?
It's a well-rounded look at it.
Yes, right? I'm very glad to see that you guys are taking that whole approach to it, to tackle all of those.
A balanced human is all of those things.
Yes.
Or at least considers those. Not everybody's luck's the same, right? You could be a genetic loser. Like you might just have all these problems in your medical. It is what it is. And you might be a winner in a lot of ways and just lucky on timing. But to talk about all of them and always bring them to the light, because one of my favorite things is the fact that, what do? Firefighters talk. Mm-hmm. We like a kitchen table. You get us some half-wit coffee, a lot of caffeine, and a lot of bad ideas and giggles. So
we can solve all the problems.
We already solve all the world's problems at that table. You might as well just bring it and put it in a.
I think these are the topics that are actually useful to us.
Well, yeah, I think the topics you put into the magazine are a lot of the topics we're tackling at the kitchen table. I mean, I was reading through a couple of them that we got when we picked it up at FDIC, and I'm looking at these things and I'm almost laughing because I'm thinking back about conversations that we've had at the kitchen table. And you're like, holy shit, he got this. He definitely pulled this one from a kitchen table somewhere,
And it's a demonstration that's the same everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Canada fire trucks are going by kilopascals and ours are going by PSI. That's the only difference.
Yes. Yeah, we're bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fun trying to figure out different topics and things that are that are going to affect us. And really, again, like, how can we go to work and do our job that we're told is stressful and hard enough? But to me, it's you're going through a divorce is really what you're battling. That's the battle. Maybe you're not connecting with your kids. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that just wear us down. Those are the things that we want all of these things to be doing well. And we can't absorb it if it's not doing well. You know, whether it's our finances, like working overtime and you've already spent the money. There's nothing worse than going to do a job that's hard to do when you have to be there because you've already spent money. And then you're missing maybe your kid's birthday because you owe somebody a shift because of something you had to buy. And I'm just as guilty. And it's just, so to me, it's nice to get back in some control, but it seems like it's that carrot that's dangling in front of us. And, you know, once you think you're close, something else happens in your life and takes you on a tail.
It seems like a lifetime balancing act.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you talk about all those pillars. At no point, generally speaking, will every single one of those pillars be full or standing.
They all require maintenance.
Yes. And so, you know, you may take one from here and put it over here. Well, now that one's lacking. And it just feels like even when you're talking,
the balloons, right?
It's the balloons. You're robbing Peter over here to pay Paul over here, but you know, you're going to have to return it at some point. It's having that balance of, okay, how much can I take from here and put here without affecting what's going on over there? You know, it's one of the, it's that constant balancing.
That's where boundaries, I think, really come up, and having good, healthy boundaries to say yes and no to the appropriate things so that the right pillars are being supported. Right? You're right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is recognizing the pillars, one thing, and then recognizing which ones need more help. And then from there going, okay, now that I've cleaned this up, how can I avoid the crackling again? Right.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
There you go. Yes. Worked it in. Way well done. I heard an A in there too earlier.
Yeah,
that was well done. That was well done.
Go to commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I think, I mean, it's true. It's, again, that's where we fail, but we have to premeditate these boundaries, which we need to know what the boundaries could be in order for us to set them. And they have to be realistic. It's not out of our nature to like set something. We go from one to like another extreme where now we're eating nothing but tofu for 2 weeks or whatever our new diet.
Or not eating and like fasting.
Yeah. Oh, intermittent fasting.
Yeah, like
he's eating lunch.
Yeah, guys are like on a 48-hour fast and they look like they're about to pass out. It's like, dude, have a Cheerio. You're gonna be all right, you know?
Then they crash and
exactly.
Trying to figure
back on whatever they were doing. Based on your experiences, how can policymakers and frontline leaders of departments, agencies, whatever, best support the mental, behavioral, and physical health of their personnel based on all of your experiences, not only being a professional firefighter, but you get out of the house now, you know, you talk to a lot of people. So based on that perspective,
you know, there's many layers to that question. One is pay attention to those around you, I think is just a basic and easy. We're so absorbed with ourselves a lot of ways because we're trying to battle our own lives that I think we sometimes get our head in the sand, and maybe we don't want to ask questions sometimes because we don't want to get into it right now because we're thinking about something else. I think it's really about paying attention and ask those questions. And then if someone is going through something, another tendency is to just walk the other way and give them space and let them deal with it. But that's the opposite of, I think, of what needs to happen. I think we need to go to that. I think we need to ask. I think even if you know, I don't know what to say to you other than, you know, it sucks that you're going through this, you know, let's go for coffee. Let's just connect. I think some of those things are needed. And, you know, I don't think we need to give people space. And again, I think when I was sick, the last thing I wanted was space. And that's all I got. So, and I think the other side of it is if you're injured or not at work, I think you have to make efforts yourself to kind of stay relevant and be in the game and not kind of step aside a little bit. I think we need to kind of go to it as well. And if I want to have a coffee with you guys, I should tell you, and then we can have a coffee. Like if that's what I want.
Yeah, you get a retiree and it's like nobody calls. It's like, well, you're always welcome, but there's just nobody just making the initiation.
Right.
Like,
I think
you're right to say it's both. Yeah, it's both ways.
Yes.
Yeah. Call us. You're always welcome, right? Because we're showing up. We're who's shopping today, who's on what truck. Go check this out. Oh, you know, we should call Joe. You know what I mean? It doesn't always click. So we almost need you to just show up and go, hey. And
that's easy, right?
Yeah,
that's easy.
Right.
Yeah. We feel good about ourselves because you showed up, right?
Right.
Like it's kind of backwards. You know, and then as far as the department, like, I mean, it would be ideal. I think the pie in the sky would be to have psychologists and therapists on the payroll and be able to really know the characters that are filling these firehouses have that continuity where it's progressive. So when you start, maybe, you're beginning a family or just starting a family, you've been kind of, if you went 10 years down the road, maybe you're going through divorce now, but your therapist would have been able to follow you along that journey and say, yeah, you're not with your
almost like
tendencies.
a family therapist, a set of family therapists that know 100 to 200 people.
They watch you grow.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
That's actually not a bad idea. It really isn't.
Yeah, and I'm sure some departments like UFLAC out in LA, they have a similar system to where they have therapists on the payroll paid by their labor union. And you're right, like looking at, I didn't even think about that aspect, but after 10 years and the same people are there, they have such a context as to you,
It's
we change.
How's that going? How's this going?
Yep.
They see it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that would be, ideal. And I think as far as fire departments and top level is, have the benefits to support this. It's one thing to say you should do, go twice a year and get assessed, but then you figure out you have no benefits for it. And again, firefighters are broke. So as if we're going to prioritize our health and wellness over a family trip, or
soccer, whatever.
Yeah,
grocery. I mean, there's guys
or their medications or whatever.
Yeah.
You name it. Yeah.
Especially like the ones like you talked about who are injured, those members, they may not be getting full pay. They might be getting a percentage of what they are just being on light duty. So they got less money coming in and being away from work. I'm sure you can talk a little bit about it because you just kind of went through the whole not being at work, but that plays on their mind too. You're not in the firehouse. You're not in your social circle. You want to get back to work, and there's not a person there that wants to be the quote unquote weak link.
That's right.
So when they come in with a busted wing or whatever it may be, they don't feel like they're up to par with everybody else.
Yeah.
And so then the mental health starts going downhill, and it's just that whole kind of everything's working against you at that point.
Yeah.
And it's tough because you see the decline in the person.
Yeah.
And the remedy is get back to work, but they can't do it.
Some really don't want to be, I look forward to, I just got injured this year. I tore my pec. And I'm just now almost back to work. So I've been on light duty now for a little bit. I was off for a while there. And I'm at the point now where it's like, I need to go to work. I'm young enough. I'm healthy enough. I need to have the regular routine of a normal life working, right? And my wife could probably use a break too.
I'm sure she could.
Right. And the kids like me, but they're like, dog. Don't you firehouse to be at?
Yeah.
But there are a group of people that kind of check out, and you see it on them when they try to come back. And they're like, they don't want to be there. And they're just trying to squeak by. Whether it's physical, financial, or emotional, it's impacted. There's an off balance part that isn't being supported, whether on their end or something in their life's going on.
Yeah. I think, again, and distractions are great as well. You're off work, but you're still doing your podcast and working away. And it's nice to have different things to turn to when you need them. And I think distractions are great, getting different hobbies and different things like that, right?
Passions.
Like when I'm off duty and I go back, I feel like I was off for like a month.
Yeah.
Like when I go back, I can't wait to get back in some ways, because it's just to get me out of my office or get me out of whatever the hell I've been doing.
Right.
Do something
it's a
else.
different type of responsibility. It's weird because you leave it all there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I'm more stressed out editing podcasts than I am going on calls, because it's like, it's going to be over soon. It's really quick and easy. I mean, you can see some tragic stuff, but in all reality, what's the longest going to be on scene with a patient? Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Fire a couple hours.
Yeah.
This isn't, and like, you do the thing and then you leave it there. That's easy.
Yeah. And the longer you're out of that, your brain, like you start thinking about things and being like, it's crazy what we're doing in some ways.
Especially when you have a crazy shift and then you go to drive home and it's like, I can't believe I just did what I just did.
I try to
and then, but like you go home to this like mundane life, what I mean? Where you're like,
go home to the dishes.
Yeah. Like I got to take the trash out today. I got to do this. But like an hour earlier, you were in a water suit about ready to jump in and pull someone out of a river. You know what I mean? Like it's the craziest yin and yang of life, because like at work, you're one person who does all this stuff. And I don't want to say mundane in a bad way.
No,
but
well, you hope it's mundane. You go home.
That's the key. You want it to be boring, not boring.
All my excitement is scheduled at home.
But I think we're trained a little bit in the fact that, okay, I might have 4 days off, but at the end of that 4 days off, I want to go do some cool shit now. You know what I mean? Like,
there's certainly the lifestyle aspect of just being in the firehouse, seeing the bros,
hanging out,
buddies,
you know,
doing the thing. Yeah.
It's a second family, but it's a different family than your first family.
Yeah.
And everyone listens to you there, and you come home and no one listens to you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a captain. Come on, you know, and they don't.
Yeah, you're supposed to jump up. You're like, hey, Cap, trash is over there.
Yeah. Then go captain the trash out to the curb.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, so you're saying you're qualified to do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah. I always say to the kids, like, no news is good news. They come home from school and it's like, that's great. Like, I'm glad that your world's not falling apart today. And, you know, I think that's great. You left in the same headspace that you left and came home in, and it's amazing.
On the flip side, though, it's nice when you have those crazy days that you can come home to that. You know what I mean?
I love it. My kids, like I said, I got little kids, and yours isn't too much older. So they don't leave a whole lot of calmness.
Yes. Yeah, chaos is good, right? Yeah.
But the nice part, they don't care what you just did.
No,
you know what I mean? You're just dad at home. And
I jumped off my boat a couple years ago and grabbed the boat, and I cut my wrist open to where you could see the meat and everything. And we just pulled up to the sandbar, and my daughter goes, well, I'll kiss it. Let's go. We got like she didn't understand that. No, Dad's gonna go to the hospital now. We can't stay and play. So yeah, right. It's funny how little they care. Like, oh, you're tired? That's cute. Let's go.
Yeah. But like when you have a bad day, come home and kids are there, you know, yours are younger like mine. Just them coming up to you and like, hey, can we go do this? Hey, I'm sorry, but that's a game changer.
Well, you play hide and go seek.
Yes.
Is the most welcomed question.
Yes. Like it flips it will flip you.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang, right? Yeah.
That's it. It'll flip your day from the shittiest day you had at work. You come home and you see that face that just comes to meet you, and all they want to do is, like you said, play hide and seek or
go outside.
They're
simple, innocent.
There isn't a drug in the world,
nothing better, dude,
that will work better than just that. You know, that's all.
I think the best time I ever had was just going to the park and pushing my kid on the swing.
Yeah,
you know, like it was incredible.
It is. It works both ways.
It does.
You know, it's that balance that we talk about.
Next thing you know, they'll be changing our diapers.
Yeah, I wish it could all be that simple, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it can be in a lot of ways, but if we could have that every day, but that's not the reality a lot of times. So we have to go here, we will promised here, and you know, so
those things would be so sweet to get back to them on tap, you know?
Yeah.
Well, as we close out here, where can people find more information about CRACKYL Magazine, CRACKYL Media, all the good stuff?
Sure. Well, our website would be the easiest, crackyle.com. We've launched an app. And that's going to be an evolving tool. I would like to say that, you know, kind of put your health on your home screen is kind of what we're saying. Right now, it's version 1 is out. It's enough to get us started, and we're working on version 2. Really excited about some things that we're going to be adding to it and kind of taking it to the next level. There's some good things coming. So that's really, I think, where the future is going to be in our app and then our articles and stuff like that. So it is free. All our past issues are free digitally. You just log into our website, and then, you know, we have fire department subscriptions. We offer like a 40% discount. We have individual subscriptions, so it's cheap. As cheap as I can get it, which is good for us, right? You know, take it to the firehouse and sit on the table and just see what people think. And we keep hearing stories of people that were talking and they're like, hey, I just read an article on that. And they're literally bringing the magazine out. That to me is that's where the rubber meets the road right there, and the proof's in the pudding. And so I think, you know, I would say encourage. I would rather see people see the magazine, read it, and say it's not for them than to just not bother or miss it. Probably my best advice.
Love it.
Yeah, you guys check it out. We met these guys at FDIC, and we pulled
coffee table approved.
Yeah, I mean, we read through them. It was great. Take the time to check it out.
The only guy to get the drawn by fire guy to draw himself.
Yes. Oh, tell that story. Yes, that was.
Yeah. So Paul Combs. Yeah. I don't know if people know who he is. I'm sure most people do, but he's an artist, but he's never drawn himself. And I asked him to draw himself for the cover. Actually, it's right here. Right there.
First time right there.
Not clean though.
Yeah. He was a little nervous about it, but he's got his crayons up in his helmet and then paintbrush at the end of the. Like,
oh, look at that.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's good.
Yeah, there's all kinds of details in it.
That dude's creative, man.
He's
if you haven't checked out his Instagram or anything, please. Paul Combs on all the socials, I'm sure.
Yeah, just incredible. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
We're not having fun. We're doing it wrong, right? So
exactly.
That's right. And we're gonna keep doing it. And so we're gonna stay in touch. And we thank you very much for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on the Minds on the Frontline podcast. We hope everyone enjoyed this episode. We have more great content coming out soon. Be sure to check out CRACKYL magazine, crackle.com, and download the CRACKYL app. And please check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and make sure to like and subscribe to all Minds on the Frontline podcast social media channels. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.